The name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host. Tonight's guest is a special guest. His name is Foye. He's a director, a screenwriter, a producer, and a community activist. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Alan.
It's great.
Appreciate that.
It was really wonderful talking with you before the show and learning so much about your journey through life.
Yeah.
And also, thank you, JT, for introducing me to you.
Yeah, big shout out to JT.
Yeah, big shout out to
Had
JT.
his 52nd birthday, right? It was great.
Yeah, it was great. I only got there for a few minutes because I had to come home because I'm an old guy. I had to get my sleep, my beauty sleep. So it's interesting. So how did you get into show business? I'm curious.
Well, that's kind of long journey, long story.
Well, briefly.
Okay, so basically, I was always interested in movies and things like that. So, you know, in regards to music,
right.
You know, I was always an artist first. So basically, I was a writer. I used to write a lot of music, you know, in my teenage years and things like that. And, you know, in terms of show business, it's like hip hop, you know, that's hand in hand, you know, in terms of acting, you know, producing videos and stuff like that. So
did you perform, actually?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, in shows, stuff like that.
Was it awesome? Or what
I
was
mean,
it like?
yeah, you know, it was cool, but, you know,
right.
I always had a passion for music and writing and things like that. So it kind of led me into screenwriting as well. Right. And, you know, I just started to develop my craft even more and became better. And you know, here we are today.
Do you do any acting, or do you basically behind the scenes more than?
I do some acting as well. In this show, the new TV series I'm actually doing right now, we're putting out summer 2018, Shooters on Deck. You will see me in you know, a few episodes and things like that.
So what, if you give a little tease about what it's about, what is the show about?
Okay, well, Shooters on Deck is basically a drama, action, and pretty much it's about an agency of highly skilled, talented individuals. And basically they handle a lot of cases globally and also locally as well. But what's so interesting about it is that the cast is so incredible, is that basically everybody has their own skill and talent. And, you know, it's one of those shows and one of those series that you could watch every week, and then you could root for your actual shooter, your character, you know? And the plot points are amazing. Is basically, you know, it's really I'm not going to give you too much.
No, please don't.
Yeah.
Right.
But one thing I could tell you is very interesting, and, you know, you will be looking at the screen and, you know, like rooting for your favorite shooter every week.
So do you find when you're writing that you get like so into, I mean, like I do some writing too for my shows, that like I get so caught up in certain characters and just like really build up the characters. Do you find yourself thinking about the characters?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have, like I said, you know, I have great stars, co-stars, and sometimes, you know, you have your A story and your B story, and sometimes it's like, wow, you know, your supporting actor is actually starting to become the main, you know, star of the show. So, you know, it's like,
interesting when that
yeah, the storylines start to build up and things like that. But everybody in the show is actually so interesting that you're gonna love each character. So
it's episodic?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're looking to actually film 12 episodes right now. We're actually working on shooting our first episode. We're going to start production in June. So basically, we have everybody, the cast, the script is incredible, and you know, we're just ready to go.
So where are you filming it?
Oh, Brooklyn.
Wow.
Absolutely. So we, basically, you know, a lot of it is shot in Brooklyn, but we're actually moving around New York City, so you will see various locations, you know, a lot of luxurious scenes you may see, you know, and local scenes as well.
So it's going to, so it's shooters. So
Shooters on Deck.
So is it going to be, it's going to be more than violence.
Oh, see, that's the thing. You know, I got people thinking, you hear the title, Shooters on Deck. That's not the actual concept what people hear when you hear shooters. When you hear shooters, for us, in regards to the term, it's just getting the job done.
Oh, I see.
You understand? Cool. So basically, everyone is skilled. You know, you have high-level shooters and lower-level shooters, but it's basically a bunch of, you know, an agency that gets the job done in regards to, you know, different types of missions, or even something as simple as, you know, a couple who wants, you know, to find out information. But it's so interesting how we actually lay out the plot.
So you've worked, so during your journey, you've produced films, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So what was your first film that you produced?
Oh, wow. That's interesting because, I do a lot of appearances and things like that on TV when I'm actually working as a community activist.
Right.
So, I do commercials and stuff like that and make appearance as an actor or talent.
Right.
One of my films I actually produce now is a short called Karma.
Right.
And it's about youth, young people who are actually in abusive relationships. Right. So I actually wanted to produce something that people could relate to, and that's what Shooters on Deck is about. It's about basically, situations that's going on now. We have terrible situations in regards to shootings, right. And one of the things that I do is write in regards to what's going on in the world now that people can relate to, whether you're black, white, right. Young, old. There's plot points that you will hear about in my new TV series that you're gonna love and enjoy. Right.
And there is a disproportionate amount of shooting victims that happen to be people of color. There's no question
Absolutely.
about that. And it's just terrible what's happening, but it's good. You're here to help people with your community activism and your nonprofit organization that you run.
Absolutely, yes.
You're trying to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that my organization do, and let me give you a little.
What's the name of your organization?
The Chris S. Owens Foundation.
Okay.
I basically started it for my son. He was killed by a stray bullet April 26, 2009. Since then, I work with various organizations, community-based organizations, and also government agencies to actually change the mindset of some of these high-risk and at-risk individuals that's involved in some of the shootings. But on both levels, because we have police shootings as well.
That's terrible.
So that's something that, that needs to be looked at,
Definitely
as
needs
well.
to be looked at.
Yes, so, between what I do in terms of film and television, I actually teach job transferable skills to the youth. So we provide jobs and also skill development in the film and television industry. So like I said, basically everything coexists in terms of the skill and the talent that I bring that I like to share.
And that's great. And we kind of do that here too. Most of the people who work for LMC TV, who are volunteers, come from from the community, and it's great to help kids. Mm-hmm. Help them on their path through life,
Absolutely.
Because if they're left on the street, you never know what's going to happen to them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of talent, in the communities, but it's like, if you don't have anyone there to guide you and develop that talent, then it's like, it just sits there.
So talking about talent, would you like to share your short film Karma with our audience?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, that'd be awesome. So let's view Karma. Okay.
Hey, yo, what's up with your man? Where he at right now?
He keep texting me. He said, "Where you at?" I think he's home.
Got your man out here bugging.
I got him out here bugging. What you want to tell him when he asks you? You supposed to be his man. And how you think he's gonna react? He said, "You don't know." This nigga is blowing up my phone.
Yeah, that's what I be talking about.
Hey, what's up? What's going on here? Are you leaving? Hey, what's up with you? I texted you 2 times. You didn't even text me back.
Calm down. I was just.
What you mean calm down? Because you talking about?
What are you ODing for?
I caught you on man's here.
We was just talking.
Talking about what?
You dragging it.
No, dragging what? What am I dragging?
dragging it.
I ain't dragging nothing. I'm out of here, yo.
All right, you can go.
about Dion and Christian.
What did they do?
Bro, I like both of them. Bro, I was sitting in the room with Dion the other day, and Christian came in. I don't know what he was bugging. Like, he was like, oh, why you with him? That's my man's. Bro, he was making a big scene. But I think he's trying to catch on that I'm messing with Dion.
But do you know that they each other mans though?
I do, but
This is who you trying to figure out who you want?
bro, who that?
Clearly.
Hold up, no.
Where they at?
Let me call him.
Bro.
No.
He's a dog. Like, look at
No.
this. Like, bro, look at the doggy filters. He's wildin'.
She's mad close to him, first of all.
Bro. Oh no.
Bro, he's not even picking up his phone.
But bro, she's laying on his shoulder.
Hold up, that looks like the deli on Pleasant. We about to go. Hold on.
Bro, there you go right there. Look,
That's him right-
get him.
No.
Who that?
Hold up.
Who that?
Who that?
Who that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Wow, that was pretty incredible. I mean, it seems like, you know, you hear about relationships when you're my age. You know, you don't think about young people having these kind of relationships because you think you don't hear it from your kids. Usually, the kids don't even tell parents about things like this.
Absolutely.
This is pretty intense.
Yeah, it's like, 1 in 3 relationships, young people, they're experiencing abuse, whether it's verbal and, things like that. So my thing was to take, what's going on in the community and just bring it to light, basically.
So it's what has been the response from the community for your projects?
Oh, we get a lot of support. Like right now for Shooters on Deck, we have a lot of people who are requesting to be involved, whether that's behind the scenes or basically wanting a part in the actual film. So we get a lot of support, different rappers, different, up and coming actors, they want to be a part of it because they feel the energy. Everyone that's a part of the actual cast has their own base.
Right.
So, we have followings from young people, different nationalities, ethnic backgrounds, so it's really picking up, and we look for different investors and sponsors to come on board as well right now. So I'm pretty much open to that, on the business level.
So where will it be seen?
Oh, right now we're actually looking to put it on all of our social media platforms as well as Netflix. We're looking to actually provide it to some of the consumers on iTunes as well. But we're we're looking at actually shopping the show and getting it picked up and put it on some of the networks right now because we have a few executives that's actually interested.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what kind of crew do you work with usually?
Well, I keep a small crew because I like to work with people that that's actually skilled at what they do. So. Basically me as a director, I do a lot in terms of like editing as well,
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, cinematography.
That's key.
Yeah.
Because that's always the weak part is like the editor. If you have the editor, then you have the show for the most part, at least from my vantage point.
Absolutely, and even JT as well, he's a great casting director.
No question.
He's our casting director for Shooters on Deck, and basically he has a lot of great people that he's bringing on board.
That's wonderful.
So in terms of editing, cinematography, things like that, we really have a strong cast, a strong crew as well.
So how big do you anticipate the cast to be, the main cast?
Well, right now we have about 7. I'm actually looking at 2 more characters. I think that would be a really, really will add value to the show.
Right.
So, right now we're at 7 right now. 7, we have the star.
And then you'll have also extras, I'm sure, on the show.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But like I said, we have a lot of people who are actually supporting us and want to see us grow. Right. And I'm getting a lot of requests from different artists, different actors, and
any names?
You know, I don't want to spoil
I mean,
it.
you don't have to say the names, but are there names?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
you know,
awesome.
Absolutely. We have some really, you know, great people who, you know, that's going to definitely bring the show to life even more.
Right. And this is all in the support of your your organization?
Basically, I operate in two separate capacities. I have a 501c3 nonprofit organization,
right.
and I also have CSO Communications, which is a LLC.
Right.
They both have a working relationship, but overall, CSO Communication is the actual agency that's going to be producing Shooters on Deck.
So so everything right now is focused in, other than your 501c3, is focused in on this one project.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So do you live and breathe, and every morning you wake up, you're thinking, oh my God, what are you gonna do, or whatever?
I mean, you know, for me it's fun. You know, I do what I love. So, you know, it's really fun for me.
Right, I know, because when I first started doing like Scriptless, which was the show that I'm still involved in, I would wake up in the morning and I would just start thinking about, you know, characters and scenes, and I'd write stuff down. Do you find yourself doing stuff?
Oh yeah,
like
I'm
that?
constantly writing, you know, my iPad, you know, my phone, you know, developing the characters and things like that. You know, I sit with my crew, you know, in my cast as well, and we discuss, you know, different things. You know, they give me ideas. You know, I go, you know, think about it, and you know, I have a really good writing team. You know,
and I guess as the show starts filming and stuff, you'll get other ideas too. Once you see the characters, how they.
Oh yes.
I mean, once you see it really happening,
absolutely.
that changes stuff too.
Absolutely. I mean, we have production meetings, you know, every week. So we're basically practicing. You know, we're basically, you know, a lot of times, you know, actors like to improv.
Right.
So, you know, I find that for me, you know, sometimes I might get a shot where it's just really great, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna go with that.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing with improv, though, is it's tough, unless, with improv, you got to get it at that moment because you can't do the same thing twice.
Absolutely.
So you brought another clip, right?
Yes.
What's the other clip that you brought?
Well, this one is called Welcome to Wagner, and it's actually, basically, it's one of my workshop series where we went into Wagner houses in East Harlem because there was a lot of shootings going on. I was
Where is Wagner houses?
It's in East Harlem.
But do you know the blocks? Cause,
yeah, we're basically on First Avenue, around that area and stuff
so
like
really
that.
the East Side, right?
Yeah, the East Side.
Yeah,
basically. So you know, it was a lot of shootings going on and things like that. And what I do is I provide alternative to gun violence workshops and programs.
Right.
So I was requested to provide these services inside of the housing.
And that was requested also. I mean, you have you've worked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was in conjunction with the mayor's office and things like that.
Awesome.
Also PAL, and the kids were amazing. You know, it was like they just had it in them to talk about what's going on in their community. So the documentary actually expresses from a youth perspective. You know,
right. And you're coming in there with being a New Yorker and having, you know, experienced life.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
Sure that as we talked about, it gives us the credit, the credit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm basically, you know, I work with various individuals who are considered credible messengers. Right. The community actually considers me a credible messenger. Awesome. You know, I don't like to say I'm credible. I let the people say it.
Right. I hear you.
Know, but overall, that's something, an initiative that's actually working around the city and globally as well to help stop some of the shootings.
And probably it could be expanded throughout the state. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, look what happened today.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's all these school shootings and everything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's another thing. You know, Shooters on Deck is actually addressing some of these issues. So, you know, our viewers will have a chance to actually. You know, every week to see and express their frustration as well, you know, in regards to what's going on, because we address these issues inside of our series.
Right, I could imagine just trying to get inside of the head of a kid who decides to take that gun to school and to kill people.
Yeah, because even a good kid can go, you know, turn down the wrong path.
That's it. It happens to any kid, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It could happen to anyone. So
absolutely.
Let's share your video. I'd love to share it with the audience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so enjoy this video.
My name is Joshua. I'm 25 and I'm from Wagner Projects.
tower on the 50 course. Wagner needs to me. I've been here for 10 years. 445, this building right here. Back in my, I can't say back in my days, but I'm 25, so in the 90s, more in the 90s, 2000s, we had the boys club. So that we actually got us out of trouble. Kids getting along with each other. All this first side, second side beef, and it's not just Wagner. Any project, Harvard, Wilson, ain't really about nothing. My name is Joshua, and welcome to Wagner.
Well, Wagner is just Wagner.
I think that Wagner and like the people in it, they probably have their own problems within, but when it comes down to it, they're always a family. And I'm not from Wagner, but I could see as an outsider, I could have a different perspective, and I could see that Wagner's a family. Like no matter what, you can have beef with your brother that lives right next door in the same building with you, but when it comes down to it, Wagner's a family, and that's really what I love about it.
It's rowdy, I mean, they gangsters. Sometimes we rowdy because they just want to have fun. They want to be themselves. What else you want? No kids ain't grow up with nothing.
Welcome to Wagner.
Really, when I think about Wagner, I mean, I love my little man, like, just a man, like, and after him. I want to see a change, something better, something different. Wagner's been like this.
I feel like we need to start working with the little kids. Yeah, with the little kids and then the generation up, because, I don't know, like the little kids, they start like, they think they're grown because that's what they see. They need to like change, starting with the little kids.
They have a better environment, they probably have a better perspective on things, a more positive attitude in life, what they want to do, and how they carry themselves, how they want to be. Instead of just always around negative energy and violence and seeing the drugs and the little brutality and stuff that go on and hearing about it. You gotta have something different for the kids.
Not just the kids, the old heads too. Too many people got too much excuses. They all day around they past. So you know what's bad, you know what's good. You know what's positive, you know what's not.
I mean, I've been in Wagner all my life. I grew up in Wagner. It's a lot in here. It's just for me to take the good, the bad, and everything positive. Whatever comes is gonna come regardless. You just gotta put positivity.
You gotta expect the unexpected. Pray for the best, but for me, pray for the worst. So
Just in case, like,
You always pray.
word.
That don't mean God ain't never with you. Just because you don't got no answer.
we call us a family. Like,
Look, everything
social media ain't always what it
everything ain't what it seems in Wagner.
that's a fact.
Just see
Social
what
media,
you see, think what you want.
it's the internet. You can put anything on the
Yeah,
internet.
what you did.
You gotta be here to see it and believe it.
Welcome to Wagner.
Well, that was really meaningful. I mean, you know, you want kids to have like a safe place. You know, it's. I think what you're doing, your mission is so important. I mean, you have to help kids, you know, find a way without dealing with with violence and all these other issues.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of times they actually need things to do.
Right.
Not to mention it's an economical situation going on where it's a lack of resources. So basically, one of the things I do, I provide, you know, jobs in regards to the productions that I actually do. So we hire interns, we hire production assistants, and you know, we make executives and entrepreneurs and things like that. So.
Which then become role models in the neighborhood,
Absolutely.
and people see they could do it. But you know, I wish there was more funds that the city and the state would give to people like you.
Yeah, I wish so.
I mean,
hope
because
so.
there's so many kids
Yeah.
who are lost in these terrible cycles of being stuck in a neighborhood where maybe the education isn't as good and the resources aren't there.
Absolutely.
And and there's just it leads people to you know, it's like almost like wasted lives because they're not given the resources to,
it's
to
basic.
become who they could potentially become.
Yes, absolutely. I think myself, you know, because I was involved in the life at one point,
Right.
you know, and, you know, I made mistakes and things like that.
Who
but-
hasn't?
Absolutely. So I learned from my mistakes as well because, you know, some of my situations taught me, you know, to apply the education that I learned. And
Right.
a lot of times, you know, you have guys that's in the streets and gangs and some people are selling drugs, but they don't understand that that is an actual skill that you need to turn into a positive, you know. You know, if you're selling drugs, you're marketing.
Right.
You
Right.
understand?
And you're,
So-
and you're making change.
Absolutely.
And
you have to do inventory, you
right.
know. You have to
make sure you have
actually-
more money at the end of the day than you have in the beginning
Exactly.
of the day.
You know, some you know, guys, you know, they're real smart at math. You know, they could have been an accountant.
And they still, the
Yeah.
other thing is that it's never too late to change. That's the other thing is that
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't,
never.
there's always an opportunity to change your life. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I got married at, you know, I was 36 years old. I mean, people said that was too old. You know, I changed anyone could change their life if they have the opportunity to, but some people just, either the opportunities aren't there or they've been forced into a situation where they don't see opportunities, that they're not there.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes, most of the times, it's the mindset. You know, I was formerly incarcerated as well. You know, I played with guns and, you know, things like that. But I actually graduated with my bachelor's degree as well.
Look at you now, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You
So
know,
you can change.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I feel it's all about the mindset, you know, in terms of, and also having the right people around you.
Right.
You
The
know?
environment in New York City and maybe in the United States keeps people down. You know, rather than
the environment plays a major part.
That's it.
Plays
And
a
the thing
major
is that we need more people like you to show them the way. Ultimately, I mean, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Because you know, if all we see are role models that aren't making it, you know, I mean, it's so disillusioning for youth.
Absolutely. That's why, you know, that's one of the biggest things for me to actually produce, you know, shows and things where people can relate and see themselves, you know, and see, you know, not just as a gang member or a drug dealer, but as an executive, you know, as a doctor, a lawyer, things like
Or
that.
just a human being. I mean,
Exactly.
rather than a
Yeah.
role, just as a
Absolutely.
human, two people or a person, you know?
Yes, to humanize, you know, the situation in that person, because a lot of times people are made to look like objects. You
And
know?
demonized. you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
So it's like, I know that what you're doing is like, is God's work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like to think so too. I really believe that.
And I believe it too. I mean,
Yeah.
because if you could change one person, you've changed the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And you start with yourself.
That's
So
it.
I have a lot of times, you know, people, you know, that follow me,
Right.
and they seen where I came from, my transition, and it's like, wow, I want to do that too.
Yeah. I'd like to do it too, but there's one thing I don't want to do.
That's
But
it.
I got to do it. That's a wrap. Good night, folks.
Sweet thing, honey pie, look good, caught my eye. I dig your vibe, your smile. Come here, let's talk for a while. I'm loving your company, feeling the electricity.